We're saying let's wait for another 2-3 minutes and then start maybe.
Yeah, that's perfect. While we are waiting, can you guys just put in the chat box where you are joining us from? Lagos, Nigeria, Africa, the US, Canada. Would like to know where you're joining this session from. Hi, Chooks from Lagos. Hey, Joseph from Jos. Nice to have you here. Shola from Lagos, welcome. Humainat from Ibadan, nice to have you. Oh, and we have someone from Uganda, Waswa. Welcome to Nigeria. Bobola from Ogun State, nice to have you. Babajide from Ondo, Lekason.
Which part is Ondo?
Southwest, maybe like a 5-hour drive from Lagos.
Got it.
Shamsu from Katsina, welcome. Katsina is in the north. Welcome from the north. Inauni. I hope I got that right. Okay, 2:05, Akanksha, should we just go?
Yes, I think let's begin. Maybe other people will keep trickling in, but yes, we should start. The floor is yours.
All right, I shall be sharing my screen.
But yeah, I mean, till Debo is pulling up his screen, my name is Akanksha. I'm part of the admissions team. Devo and I are part of the NUTM team. We've been part of this program for quite some time now. I've been running admissions for the program. We are here to talk to you more about, NUTM Scholars Program and answer some of your questions. The way we'll structure this for today is we're going to run a brief presentation just to talk to you about who are we, what does the program entail, what can you expect, who are we looking for, etc. That should cover most of your questions, the ones you've submitted already, but happy to take other questions as well. And all the other questions which are not covered in the presentation, we'll address them right after we finish the presentation. Hope that works. With that, over to Debo.
Thank you, Akanksha. Like she said, my name is Debo Odunlami. I manage the academic affairs here at NUTM. I work alongside Akanksha and a couple of other team members that you'll meet. Welcome to this Ask Me Anything session. We're glad that you are here. And we hope that by the end of this presentation, you have a lot of answers that will encourage you to apply if you have not. That will answer whatever questions that you might have about the NUTM Scholars Program. So the NUTM Scholars Program is, we start with NUTM. So NUTM means Nigerian University of Technology and Management. And we are a new university just starting up. We are focused on, like you see in our name, technology and management. We plan to offer academic, and research in science, tech, engineering, maths for undergraduate, postgraduate, and all the higher levels. We hope, and it's not just words. We're serious about it. We hope to be ranked among the top 50 global institutions as you see here in our vision. And we already have started this year our mission to develop innovative leaders in technology and management. We think that leadership is a big challenge that is holding Africa back. And that's what this university, has come to do, to make impact in Africa by creating like a pipeline of leaders that would go out to influence Africa and the world. We hope you are one of those leaders. So we have started our flagship initiative, like to begin university, we're starting with the NUTM Scholars Program. So think about it like a fellowship. It's for 1 year, it's full-time, it's fully residential, so you live on the NSP campus. For this year, just like last year, it is fully funded. So we'll get into what is fully funded, but your tuition, your feeding, your accommodation is funded. Whatever like course material that you need also is funded. A few things like, your travel from wherever you're coming from is not funded, but for the academic scope of the work and the residential bit of it, we have you covered. Just like last year, this year, the NSP will also be taking in 60 scholars. It is an interdisciplinary program. So, we have doctors, we have lawyers, we have engineers, we have scientists, we have everybody, learning, in the same space, the same things. And the intention for the NSP is to groom young people, like I said, young leaders that would go on to, change Africa, change wherever countries they are coming from. And the focus is, like we said, on technology, entrepreneurship, and design. We think if you focus on this, then your leadership capabilities are highlighted. So the highlights of the NSP would, spend a little bit more time talking about this in subsequent slides, but, we have like a rich curriculum that is, delivered by global faculty. When we say global faculty, I mean that the faculty that teaches these courses, we find some of them from Africa and the rest from like all other parts of the world. Most of them are, top faculties in their different universities. And, the scholars here have really had, life-changing experiences with this faculty. We also have the TED Lab. So this is our entrepreneurship capstone. Like mentioned in the previous slide, entrepreneurship is a big part alongside technology and design of what the NSP is about. So the TED Lab is, a module that runs all through the year where you focus on entrepreneurship. Then another interesting part of the NSP that we're really excited about is what we call the shadow leader. So think about it, you're shadowing a leader, leaders of industry, leaders of institutions, that will spend some time with you, you learn from them, and you get some inspiration and some knowledge and some skills about leadership, and you contribute also, in the way you can. And other ways that other highlights of this program include the industry mentorship through like guest lectures and just leaders just contributing to your growth from in different ways. And the final bit of this is the Global Immersion Week. We'll talk about this in further slides. Yeah. The next thing we'll talk about now is the curriculum. So these are some of the courses that we'll be taking. These are the courses that we're taking this year by the faculty that we mentioned earlier. As you can see, it's interdisciplinary. So, you take courses in computing, you take courses in technology, in these different tracks: technology, entrepreneurship and design, management, leadership. And then we have the experiential learnings, which, I highlighted in the previous slide. There's also a pre-term, which is like a foundational period for you, where you take foundational courses in management, in communication, and then you begin your entrepreneurship capstone. These is like about 25 courses. They run through the year, and this is where like the transformation really happens. So we're going to speak a little bit more about the TED Lab now. So like I said earlier, the TED Lab is an experiential learning model. So it means like you throw yourself into the experience and you learn while like doing like real work. You form a group of, similarly passionate people. So for example, in this year, we have, groups working on problems in technology, in energy, problems in education, problems in healthcare. So you identify your community of people that want to develop, that wants to like work on real world problems. You identify the problems, you define the problems, and then you go through the process of our curriculum. You are supported by coaching. We have experts that coach you. You have sessions with, mentors. We have opportunity to pitch your product, to pitch your ideas. It's an intensive one, but the TED Lab is a really key part of the NSP. And then we talk about shadow a leader. Like I said, this one happens towards the mid period of the program. By then, we imagine you have learned a lot from the courses that that has been taught to you, and then you now get a chance to, this your evolved self. You get a chance to, experience some leadership, like some real life leadership experience with leaders in government, in business, in non-for-profit, depending on your area. So you are matched on your area of interest. So you get an opportunity to be matched with leaders that are doing the things that inspire you. You get an opportunity to match with leaders that are inspirational, are successful. It's 6 weeks. You work in their location. And if you perform well or if you make a good impression there, it's a potential employment opportunity. Think of it, as an internship, but it's beyond internship. Like you have like close contact with the leader, and it's a key part of the NSP. And then this one is, this is a popular one. We get a couple of questions about this, but we think that, because of the way the world is now a global world, and many of Nigerian students or like people haven't had the opportunity to explore like opportunities in different parts of the world. The Global Immersion Week is where we, have our scholars go on a, short trip to an emerging country, any of the emerging countries, or maybe an already developed country. And the idea behind that is to help you gain exposure, to a different way to see life, to immerse yourself in a new culture, to just enjoy the experience and learn from it. We think that travel helps you to like see life in a new way. And that's the logic behind the Global Immersion Week. But like we all know, it's a COVID year. So, we're still fingers crossed on this. We see things moving around in the international space. So we hope this happens, but we would keep a close look on what's happening in the world about COVID, vaccinations, and travel. And of course, for this kind of initiative to be successfully run, we have like leaders that we're proud of. We have these are the key board and advisory members of the NUTM. Dr. Omobola Johnson, like you see here, she's the founding dean, former minister of communication. She's currently a co-founder at TLCom. Dr. Okechukwu Enelama is the chairman of the board, also a former minister. And then we have, Mr. Adeyemi Pero, Mr. Kofi Kwakwa, who was like a former chairman at Ashesi University in Ghana. And we have Dr. Pramat Sinha, who is our senior advisor. He was the founding dean of ISB and Ashoka. And to get all this done also, we have like international and like professional, advisory from people in different parts of the world. And these are a couple of those people that commit their time, commit their knowledge, commit their experience to helping us do the right things, to helping us like build the school, build the program up. We meet with them, and they are they are some of the brains behind what we are doing at the NSP. And of course, like I mentioned earlier, our global faculty. So this is just a cross-section of some of the faculty that has taken, that have taken courses this year. Our scholars currently have taken courses from Professor Shoboyejo, from Dwight Jaggard, from Dr. Ekwe. These are like, exceptional faculty that, they're also interested in the development of African youth, that are interested in the experiential learning experience. So if you do get to join us, these are some of the people that you will be learning from. Currently, in about 30 minutes, the scholars will be starting the African history class that is being taken by Professor Lamin Sagna. So, and we have Dr. Omobola Johnson, the dean, also taking a course. Akanksha, do you want to talk briefly about the admission process?
Sure. Thank you, Debo. Thank you for taking us through what the program entails, right? And I'm sure most of you who are here want to know about the program because you've either applied or are already planning to apply, right? And some part of the process somewhere. So we've opened applications. On the 15th of February, we have 3 rounds of applications or 3 deadlines, right? Going forward, we've already had the first deadline in March. Our next deadline is 25th of April. And then we'll have a final round on the 1st of June, right? We hope to announce the class, end of July, early August. And then we want you to be on board by the 1st of September. Your pre-term begins on 1st of September. You will be starting on campus from October. That's a sort of timeline that we are talking about. I know a lot of you have asked this question, that when do you have to start in case you are through the program, right? So that answers that. We have a 4-step process on the admissions. There is an application form. It's there on the website. You register yourself. You can go through the form. It has certain sections talking about your personal details. There are some essays, super important essays, very important to spend considerable amount of time thinking through your storyline, thinking through your essays, so that we get to know you better, right? And again, from our experience last year and this year, looks like not all of you are spending enough time, putting your thought process and your efforts into these essays. So they are there for a reason. Utilize them, as an opportunity on your side. So that's on the application. We do want your transcripts. And there is a certain policy around that. Of course, we understand this is COVID. There are strikes. So we've tried to be as accommodating as possible. And I think the website and there is a guideline around that on the transcripts, right? So that's the application form. We receive your application form. We ask you to take an online assessment to know you better. This has some elements of personality, problem solving, critical thinking, and a little bit of writing, right? Writing is super, super important as part of our program. And we also make sure that we give you all the possible support to do that and take it from point A to point B during your journey with us. So that's the online assessment. All the candidates through with that move on to the next stage, which is a telephonic interview or a Zoom or a Skype interview in current times. So we would somebody from the team will have a short conversation with you, just to know, just to see who you are, just to understand you better, and put a voice to what we are reading in the application, right? So that's that. Our final interview is a panel interview. Sorry, there is an error here. There is a typo here. Very sorry about that. Yeah. But this is a panel interview, and we generally ask one of our senior board members to get involved at this stage, and you will be interviewed by 2 people. The panel generally has 2 people. It goes on for about 30 minutes. We kind of schedule it much ahead in advance. And then once you've gone through that, we kind of take a holistic look at, all the conversations we've had, everything you have written in the application process. How do you fit in? How do you align with the kind of program we have? And whether it's the right time for you, right? So we do all of that, and that's how we give you the admission into the program. For this year as well, it's a full scholarship program. They were already mentioned. What does your scholarship cover? It covers your tuition, your accommodation on campus. It covers your meals, and it covers your program-related, study trips. So that's what it covers. We do not give you a stipend. So we do believe that you're responsible adults. You're taking this decision, and this is an investment in yourself. However, from our side, we have tried to make sure that this is as seamless and as supportive to you as possible, right? Of course, you're reaching to the NUTM campus for the first time. You have to do that yourself. We do get some of these queries later in the program that, if you sponsor tickets and things and visa and all of that. Unfortunately, at this stage, we do not do that. So everything that is required till you reach the campus is something that you have to manage. But once you're on campus, everything we kind of take care of it for you, right? Okay, Devo, if we can move on. Okay, this is interesting. We get this question a lot. Who are we looking for? And who's a potential scholar? So I think by the means of eligibility, you should have a recognized undergraduate degree, but it can be in any discipline right before you enter our program. So the final year students can apply. Maybe after we have done the program, you have to do NYSC at some point. If you're finishing your NYSC, feel free to apply to us. This is your program. So no discrimination or no preference on any particular field or discipline when we are evaluating you, right? Of course, the program is focused on technology and management. So we do want you to prep a little once you have received your final offers, right? We do want the class to be a maximum of 32 years of age. When you apply. Of course, there is a certain thought that has gone into it, maybe for some other day, but we do want you to meet that. But for exceptional candidates, we are happy to take a look at your profile in case you feel and you're convinced yourself and you're able to convince us that why the program is right for you and right at this stage, right? Apart from that, of course, you have to be okay. I think Nelson asked a question. I just answered that. Yeah, a current NYSC Corp member can apply, but if you are finishing your NYSC right before when the session is starting, which is in September, October, right? Because if you can't make it to our session, like the full-time program in October on campus, unfortunately, we will not be able to take you in for this year and let that seat or let that scholar position go to somebody who can really be there, right? But of course, many more years to come, so you can continue to apply in the following years. So this is more like the eligibility, I would say, but what do we really look for is your passion to contribute to Africa, to solve problems, to be innovative, to find ideas, your leadership experiences, and this could be at work, this could be at college, at your school, at your university, it could be in your community, it could be volunteering, it could be anything, right? So that's what we are looking at. We're looking for initiators, right? Problem solvers. You should have a strong written and verbal communications. The program is big on writing. The program is big on expressing yourself on the relevant topics, on discussion, debate, ask a question, engage with the faculty, engage with all of us. So we do want you to do that, right? But of course, not everybody is at the same level or not have a same kind of exposure. So happy to work with all of you, right? And of course, somebody will have something more and something less. It's just about whether you're the right fit or not. And we do give it a lot of thought to give that role to a scholar, on the program. So that's that. Of course, we are looking for all the things that you've done beyond academics, but of course, academics is important. We are an academic program. We want you to do it with full dedication. I would like to believe we are doing some innovation and the pedagogy and the way, the kind of teaching or the learning platform we've been able to create, right? It might be a little different from the kind of undergrad experience you've had in the country. So we do want, all the hard work and sincerity to be put in that. So that's who we are looking for. And I think probably every young professional or every young student has these qualities. It's just about how you pitch your story, how convinced you are, and how and why do you think the program is right for you at this point in time, right? Some quick statistics about the class right now. We are big on gender. We are big on diversity. So, if you feel the right women out there who should be part of the program and who deserve to be part of the program, Please share this information with them, direct them to our website, nutmng.org. So in our current class, we have 58% males, 42% females. Years of experience, the class has a wide range of experience, but on an average, it's about 2.3 years. So everybody who comes to a class do have some or the other kind of experience. However, there is a population which, who's right out of college. So, and of course, they're there for a reason. We do believe in they're smart and they can contribute, right? So, and then we do have people who have more than 5 years of experience. So they've come from a certain industry. They bring certain perspective to the class as to make sure that the conversation and the experience is very, very rich. Right? We do have people from all kinds of academic backgrounds. We do get this question that, do I need to be a coder? Do I need to have a degree in engineering? Right now, not. So the program is more on tech and management. We try to give you all the possible primer to get you into the program. So our scholars right now come from all kinds of backgrounds, right? And we welcome that diversity, right? But we do want all of you to put in all kind of effort in learning whatever is there as part of the program. Okay. Cool. Devo, over to you. Would you like to take this?
Yes. For those that are familiar with Lagos, if you know the landmark village, where the landmark beach is located, where Hard Rock Cafe is located, where Shiro is located, we're right there on the second floor there. So you get an opportunity to connect with that ecosystem. There's a cinema, there's the beach, there's like all these cool places. So you have your study time, intense study time. I hope we mentioned that, very intensive, but you also get a chance to be in the heart of Lagos in VI, close to everywhere. This is COVID time, so you don't get a chance to travel about everywhere, but we're right here at Landmark Village, and this is where the Landmark campus is like. So this is the Landmark Center on your right, and we're opposite it on this second floor here. So you are right in the middle of the ecosystem. You live here for the whole duration of the program. And currently I'm talking to you from there. So yeah, we have, a fully fitted, a fully functional facility here, good internet speed, everything you need to properly learn, to be focused, to not be distracted by, all the transportation. This is why the campus is here. And these are just a few pictures of, what the campus looks like. Our auditorium here, this is what a regular bedroom looks like. This is like an observatory where you can just relax. And this is COVID time, so we always have masks on. But yeah, this is where we are, and this is where we are. So for now, I think that's it for now. We would take some of your questions, but we hope that we have answered some questions you already have. Would go through the charts to see other questions that might have come up. Thank you.
Cool, thanks, Debo. I think I'll quickly go to the questions which have already come from the submissions, right? There's a question, what is NSP? Hope that's very clear. What courses do the NSP offer? This is an interesting question which comes up a lot of times. So, this is a postgraduate program in technology, entrepreneurship, and design. And we have shown you the kind of courses this program has, right? So there is no option of applying for different courses. It's one program, which is interdisciplinary program in technology, entrepreneurship, and design. And, if you get into NSP, you do all the 25 courses as part of this program, right? Just wanted to reiterate that, so that, there is no ambiguity around that.
Yeah, and if I can add to that, Akanksha, I think, it's a good factor of the NSP too. We have people that, maybe were in engineering and are taking accounting courses for the first time, and it's been a life-changing experience for them. They would imagine that it would be a difficult thing for them, but after the program, they leave very fulfilled because they never imagined that they will become so good at accounting. So if you are thinking, wow, look at all these courses, I might not be comfortable with it, never mind, like come and learn and, surprise yourself, just to add to what Akanksha had said.
Thank you, Debo. Thank you very much. Okay, I think some of the other questions I have already taken. There is a question from the audience.
So I have a question here from someone that says, is someone who has a 9-to-5 job eligible to apply? I can answer that on Akanksha.
Okay, so yeah, sure, I'm happy to take that.
Yes,
so, if you have a 9-to-5 job right now, you can apply. So it's open to anybody who's graduating or who's working, or who has graduated and is doing an entrepreneurial stint. So it's you can apply, but you can't be doing this with your 9-to-5 job. This is not a part-time program. This is a full-time on-campus program where we expect you to be fully dedicated to this while you're doing this, right? And our current scholars will tell you this is intense, right? Even during the pre-term, your plates will be full. So we really want you to get into that studying groove like you would do for any other school around the world. So we do want that kind of intensity and hard work from all of you. So you can't do this alongside your job. Let me make it very clear. Even if I lose a couple of good candidates, it's better to be clear from day one. We want to be absolutely transparent with you, right? But of course, this is an investment in yourself. If you feel that you're at the right stage where you should take a break from your job or take a sabbatical, you should really consider this. And at some point in time, we'll also bring some of our scholars, to talk to you about their experiences, and you'll be happy to hear, how they feel about it. And many of them have done it. So yeah, hope that answers your question.
Yeah, just 1 second to say, think about it like you're going to a full-time MBA. You don't expect that you would be able to combine a 9-to-5 with an MBA. So it's that intensive, like Akanksha said, it's almost impossible for you to manage both of them. So like you said, consider it a sacrifice to like boost your career, to like boost your employability. You won't be able to work while doing this.
Thank you, Debo. There is another question from Taiwo who's asking, if there is an option of online learning. If not, when can one open up? Okay, so this is a full-time program, and this is not online. We want you to be on campus. Unfortunately, this year, because of the COVID, there are some online classes happening, but we still expect all our scholars to be on campus. So I think maybe some online programs from the university will open up in upcoming years, but we don't have any clarity or any information to share with all of you at this point in time.
Okay. There's a question on application process. Someone says if they go through the first stage, Onwoko says if she goes through the first stage, does she have to wait for feedback on when to do the online assessment?
Yes, you have to. This is interesting. So, the 4-step process is that not everybody who comes in from the first door reaches the 4th door. So we will receive your application and very, very thankful for that, of course. But we will review it. Our application reviewers are going to assess your application. Only if we feel that we are convinced with the written application, we will move forward with all the other steps. So at every step, we are going to lose a couple of interested folks. So unfortunately, that's the process.
Okay, Akanksha, I see a couple questions. Maybe I'll just run through them. Someone is asking how scholars are graded, exams or oral presentations. I can take a stab at that, and Akanksha can add to that. But think about it like 25 different courses with maybe 25 different faculty. Some are papers that you write, some are actual exams. Like for our public speaking course, you have to make a video. So think about don't limit the scope of how grading does. Like think about how do you learn, how do you improve yourself, how do you go from here to there. However, with the faculty, and like we mentioned, this is a very experiential learning program. So think take your mind away from how you were graded in maybe Unilag or in OSU or OAU. It's a different way, and the gradings are as the faculty designs it, but in an experiential way that that confirms that you have learned. Akansha, do you want to add to that?
Yeah, no, I think Debo, you've covered it well. I would just like to say that it's a very faculty-driven program, and every faculty has their own way to design it. So I don't have an answer. We don't have an answer saying that this percent of your grading is based on this, right? So it's very, very different. And for some courses, they're so experiential that there is no grading literally, right?
Yeah.
So there are one or two courses like that as well, which are really about, you're part of a simulation, you have to go through it, and it's your personal learning, right? But there is a grading, there is a bell curve in the program. So of course, there is some sort of grading and a final CGPA that you will get after the program that you can continue to use in whatever way you want once you graduate from the program.
Okay. I'll just combine a couple of questions that seem similar now. So I've seen one or two questions asking about reapplication. So some people have applied last year. Someone says they applied and had to drop out for NYSC, and that one maybe applied and didn't get in. So they're asking how,
Right. So I think being a reapplicant is a very interesting category. But I think for whatever reason your application didn't make it last year, whether you didn't take it up or whether we were not able to offer you a place on the program, I think this is an opportunity for you. You should reapply. Of course, there is a question in the application form which asks you whether you applied last year. So we would like you to tick the right box there. But at the same time, please add, rethink your essays. If there is a reason you didn't make it last time, this is your opportunity to show some more work, tell us, give us a better insight of who you are. So that's about the people who applied and didn't make it. For people who made it and didn't accept the offer for some reason, I think the process is same for you. In fact, that you should give us a better insight of why didn't you take up the offer last time, right? And I'm sure if you go through the different stages, it will come up in the conversations. What I will not recommend is that you recycle or you put the same application that you put in last year. We do have processes to check whether you're using the exactly same thing, and if you're doing that, it'll not be used to your benefit, right? Of course, happy to read all applications, all shapes and forms, but of course, the more effort is put in the application, the better it is for you and the better it is for us and the program. So please put in an effort. I also see a question from Shola, I think, who says that he applied sometime last year, but there was no response. I don't think that's possible. If you applied till the last round of application, there was definitely a response to that. But in case this happened right after, when the whole application process was over, maybe this is a technical glitch. We can check this, and please reach out to us on admissions@nutmng.org so that we can answer this and we can look into this, right? So that's that.
Akanksha, are you interested in an interesting question?
Yes, please. I'm always interested in interesting questions.
So this person says, why do we have just 60 applicants? Why just 60 slots?
Interesting, very interesting question. I think we are a new program. We only want to do whatever we can do the best possible way, right? So there is a lot of thought that has gone into this class of 60. We are definitely going to open many more programs from the university in the future, or maybe increase these 60 spots to whatever number, but not last year, of course, because of the limited funding, limited resources we have, and we want to get this 60 right to really expand it to a larger cohort. Interestingly, we got a huge response last year, and we do feel that we would like to accommodate more than 60 if we can. We are working on that, but unfortunately not for this year.
Thank you. Okay, there's someone asked, the extracurricular activities available, and I would say that, no, Akanksha, you might respond, but I'll just briefly say that we plan a session with current scholars, maybe they are better placed to answer that question. But off the top of my head, like I said, this is a landmark. You have the beach, you have access to the gym. We have like scholar committees where the students or student-formed organizations where they run around VI, they have a running club, a football club. So don't worry about that. When you come here, you guys will form and find solutions to your extracurricular challenge that you might have.
Okay, I think I'm good, Devo. You covered it well. You're on campus, so yes.
Okay. Someone says, how important is the video section of the application in the selection process?
Right. So I think video section is very, very interesting because it is an additional opportunity to give us that insight, connect with us when we read your application, when we also see a face of the video. It kind of helps us connect the dots, understand who you are as a person, and not this written excerpt which comes from you. So it's good if you can do it, but of course nobody is penalized if you don't do it, right? But of course, you are all millennial generation. We work with Snapchats and TikToks and Instagram Reels. So I think it won't hurt to make a nice introductory video about yourself to give the admissions team an insight about yourself, where you come from, and why do you want to do this.
Yeah, and just to add to that, Sadiq, I think, video is really, media is expressive. Consider the application holistic, right? So your video is not the reason why we'll take you. Like your whole application is like, different subparts of it. But you want to also put your best foot forward when you have a chance to show us your face, let us hear your voice, show your passion. So it's an important section, but it is just one of many important sections of the application.
Okay, thank you, Devo. I think I have a question here from Brandy, who's asking, is there any form of stipend given for the upkeep during the program? I mentioned it, I'm not sure when did you join, Brandy, but unfortunately at this stage, no, there is no stipend given for the upkeep during the program. We take care of your accommodation, your meals, any program related or study related travel, that we take care of it, right? But if you want to go out, hang out, all that is really on your own. We will not be able to support you with that at this point in time. Yeah. But let's be creative. Let's be resourceful. I think if you really want to be in the program, we are giving you quite a substantial scholarship to have that kind of an experience. So, go crowdsource, raise, do a fundraiser with your friends. We have all done these kind of things when we've gone for higher education. So please be creative and go all out there.
Yes, it should be. Chooks is asking that could some of the requirements like transcripts, international passport be made available during the course of the program?
I'm not sure. What does that mean? Does he mean that if he doesn't have it before the admissions?
Yeah, I think so. I think maybe he's saying he doesn't have his international passport and transcript ready. Right. Can they be made available during the program?
Right. So, if you are from Nigeria, of course, we recommend that you apply for your passport as early as possible, because let's hope whenever we emerge from the COVID-19 situation, we are able to take you to a different country on a global immersion trip, right? So we do want all of you to have it. While it's not necessary for your application. So hope that answers your question. But we do want you to start the process in case you make it to the final class. So that's on that. On transcript, there is a detailed policy. It is given in the admissions form actually. We have taken into consideration and given when have you graduated, whether we want it now, whether we can give you some time. There is a undertaking that you have to fill in case for some reason you're not able to submit your transcript when you're applying, right? But in case you need more information, please write to us on nsp.admissions@nutmng.org, and we will send you the policy, and also happy to work out on a case-to-case basis, depending, what's the reason for not having a transcript, right? There has to be a valid reason for that.
Okay, I see 2 new questions in the chat.
Okay, this is from Nambi, right?
Yes, please, you want to take those?
Yes, happy to take that. So Namdi is asking, does the NSP have a thesis requirement for graduation? Right now, no. So you don't have a thesis requirement for graduation, but the different courses you are doing have different kinds of requirement, right? And of course, there are other things like your TED lab. So that is something, as part of that, you have to do something. So there is no thesis requirement for graduation at this point in time. So that's that. The second, are scholars allowed to have guests in the facility? Right now, due to COVID, no guests at all. Unfortunately, we are in the middle of a pandemic. Of course, different countries are facing the brunt to a different extent. No guests at this point in time. But we do have a guest policy once world returns to normal. But the campus and the staying facility, etc., is for all of you. Unfortunately, will not be able to host family members and friends and all the other related folks to you in that campus. So the guests allowed to visit you, and there is a policy. But because of COVID right now, no guests at all. And if it continues, we'll continue the policy for next year as well. But we will revise it once the world returns to what it was, right?
Yes, so just to add to that, safety first. We do not want an outbreak here on campus. It's because I'm alone where I am now that I don't have my mask on. So we have strict guidelines that we follow just to ensure the safety of everybody. It's a close-knit community, so we would not be, like Akanksha said, there are no guests for now. We will watch to see, what the government recommends and how the world evolves. But yeah, no guests for now.
Cool. Thanks, Debo. Okay, I think Sodik is asking, must all the essays reach 350 word limit? No and yes, right? Because you are the best judge of how do you want to use these 350 words. There is a reason why it's 350. So if we get to know more about you, the better it is. But if you feel 100, 150, whatever it is the right amount, and that's all you want to say, and that's all to express yourself and introduce yourself to us, then of course feel free to use that limit the way you want. But of course, utilize it to the maximum possible limit, I would say, so that we know you better, and of course we continue to discuss whatever you have written during the different stages of the admissions process.
Okay, a few more questions before we round it off. Akimayawa asks, how does the mentorship and global immersion work? And I feel like we've answered that during the presentation, but maybe
happy to take that. So this works in a couple of forms, in the whether it's industry mentorship or especially in industry mentorship, right? So you do have an access to the people in the network, and by that I mean as you continue to do different courses, so you do have access to the faculty, but there will be different guest lectures from time to time, right, which will expose you to a wide array of topics, a wide array of experts, right? There's enough opportunity to engage with them at that point in time. There is, as part of the TED Lab, there is something called as a TED Lab coach. So you will work with, of course, the faculty, but you'll also work with some of the coaches who will help you in that journey. So that's that. And of course, the bigger element is the whole shadow a leader, where you get to directly work with a senior leader for about 6 weeks, within the scope of their organization, and you get mentored by them. So mentorship is a very, very important element of whatever we are doing here, right? So that's on the industry mentorship. How does the Global Immersion Week work? So ideally, the way we want it to work in a non-COVID situation is we take all of you to a partner school in a different country. Could be UK, could be US, could be India, could be Israel, could be Germany, and we decide that. So you don't get to decide that. We decide that based on the kind of relationships and the advisors we have on the program. We either take the entire class to one particular place or we divide it into different cohorts. You spend about 7 to 10 days at the partner school. You attend some lectures. You get to meet some of the startup founders. You get to go for some of the field visits to organizations. So let's say if you're in the Bay Area, we take you to some of the startups. We get some of the folks to come and speak with you. And of course, there is a little bit of a cultural exposure as well. So you get to go out and spend some time. But of course, it's all, there is an agenda. So you're not like, we don't take you and just leave you out there to party. So that won't happen. Of course, there are enough avenues to party, but it's a structured program, and we do want a certain kind of a learning takeaway from everything that we do here. So that's how global immersion is going to be work. Once we, of course, decide where are we going, there are certain processes towards it. How are you going? Where will you stay, etc., etc. We'll take care of all of that. But of course, from a learning perspective, you have to make sure that you should achieve whatever we are going for, right? So yeah, that's on that.
Yeah, I think Akansha will take just 2 more questions and then we'll call it a day. And they are quick questions. So the first one I see from 2 people, that's why I'm pushing it up. 2 people are asking, they're 34 and 35 and they want to apply. I think you touched on it, but maybe just for emphasis.
Sure. I mean, if you feel that this is the program for you, feel free to go ahead and apply. We will consider it, right? But yeah, you should be very, very convincing in whatever you write to us. So happy to receive your applications.
Okay, and the final question for today, just to note, if you have more questions, I'm going to type out the email address, nsp.admissions@nutmng.org. Please send them there. But the final question I'd like you to answer, Akansha, is at the end of the NUTM program, what certification is provided to successful students, an MSc or a postgraduate certificate?
Right. So at this point in time, to the founding class, we will be giving a postgraduate certificate. However, we are working with a lot of partner universities to see if we can really call it like a diploma or do it like a MSc, and you'll hear from us on that. But at this point in time, it's a postgraduate certificate of, in technology, entrepreneurship, and design. So that's what you're going to get, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you get a lot more than the certificates. Like you
Yeah,
get
I think. Yeah, it's about the learning, and of course, it's about how it's recognized, right? And we are making, active efforts to make sure that it's received well. So, and you don't have to worry a lot because there is a class which is doing this right now. So you will have a set of ambassadors already out in the world. Who will probably do the justification to that certificate or whatever document they receive at the end of the first year, right? So that's that. I will, Debo, I know you said the last question, but I'll just take this last question from Joseph, maybe, which says, are there semester breaks and how is it structured? Thank you, Joseph. This is an interesting question. I think we didn't touch upon this one in our presentation and all the conversations we've had so far. So this is a 1-year program. It's divided into 8 terms. So each term is about 6 weeks. That's the structure. Are there semester breaks? No. And yes. Of course, we will give you a break on Easter. So the class is right now having 4-day break starting tomorrow, right? But this is in the middle of a semester. So this is not really a semester break in that sense. So we, of course, want you to celebrate whatever you would like to. But there are no long breaks because, unfortunately, the way it's structured, we can't afford to have something like that. This year, we started the program on campus in January because of COVID. Next year, we want to start the program, given everything goes well, from October, right? That's the plan. And of course, you will have a Christmas and a New Year break, but not like a huge break, but more like a week. So that, and of course, Easter, and any other festivals which are celebrated in the context, you will get some break around that, but not big breaks. So yes.
Okay, thank you, Akansha.
Thank you, Debo. I think we'll wrap it up with this one. I have a very good Easter weekend, everybody. thank you for joining us, and of course, happy to receive your applications and answer any more questions on the admissions ID, right? We'll be doing many more of these sessions. Feel free to spread the information of, among your cohorts, among your colleagues. Most of the information, including the courses, etc., is there on the website, so you can read it there.
Yes, thank you all. If you are thinking about applying and you just hope this session has encouraged you to apply, it's a great experience. I'm speaking without bias, but we hope you apply. We look forward to seeing your applications. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
All
thank
right.
you, team, for organizing this, and thank you, Devo.
All right, thank you.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.